my name is Alex and I thought we could do a nice 10-minute Pilates routine to strengthen our hips, thighs, glutes, and of course keep our core nice and engaged. So I'm using a little towel here for my knees, a little extra cushioning and protection. You can do the same thing if you like. So in this quadruped starting position, hands under shoulders, let's spread the fingers nice and wide. Let's try not to arch, and let's try not to tuck under. Let's try to have a nice neutral pelvis, and we'll stretch that leg out behind you, point the toes, and on your exhale, draw in your abdominals and lift the leg, and inhale, lower down. Exhale up and inhale down. So we'll do about 8 of these leg lifts. I want you to reach nice and long every time you lift, keeping the abdominals activated. And then we're gonna keep that leg up and we're gonna pulse it out for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're gonna inhale to bend the knee and exhale to straighten the leg. Your spine is gonna stay neutral. Your shoulders are gonna stay still and square. You're gonna inhale, bend, exhale, stretch. And you can do this with a pointed toe, a flexed foot, or a relaxed foot. Let's do one more time here. Nice long lengthening leg parallel to the floor, not too high. And then let's start to circle, slow and controlled. Breathing in, breathing out. We'll draw about 8 circles. And I have a pointed toe. And then we'll reverse the direction of the circle and I'm gonna flex my foot. Reaching through the heel. Let's go for 4. And 3. Last 2, let's reach a little bit longer. We're gonna keep that leg lifted, point the toes, stretch a little stronger, take your opposite hand and reach it forward, and let's hold and breathe for 4, 3, 2, pushing away from that floor, and bring it back. Let's have a little sit to the heels, reaching the arms forward, and dropping forehead down. We'll stay here for 1 inhale and exhale. Giving those wrists a little rest. And stretching through the low back. And with your next inhale, let's set up our starting position once again. Hands under shoulders. Let's try not to arch the back. Let's keep those abs drawn up and in and engaged. And now your other leg. Reach it back nice and long and strong. And exhale to lift. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. And let's check what the head and neck are doing. Make sure you're not trying to watch your leg and send your spine out of alignment. Let's keep the chin a little bit tucked. And take the top of the head forward, pointing strongly away from the tailbone. And we're gonna keep the leg lifted this time for little pulses, 8, 7, and 6. See how still those hips can stay, like you're balancing a little teacup right on the small of your low back. And we're gonna inhale, bend the knee and reach. Inhale, bend. Exhale, stretch. Usually one hip wants to be a little bit higher than the other. So just try to focus on that alignment in the hips and pelvis, the activation across the abdomen. Last one here, I'm going to keep the toes pointed, stretch the leg out a little bit longer, and circles. Breathing in. Breathing out. I find the circles are the most challenging when trying to keep the hips steady. And once you've done 8, let's reverse and flex the foot. Breathing in. Scan that alignment. Let's go 3, 2, And keep that leg back. Let's go back to the pointed toe, leg parallel to the ground. Let's lift up those abs a little bit more. Your opposite arm is stretching forward for 4. And 3, don't collapse. And 2, you can do it. Woo, and bring it back in. Wowzer. Let's take the knees a little bit wider this time. Bring the toes together and sitting back. Stretching it out, dropping forehead. And we're just gonna send those arms over to the side for a breath here. Dropping forehead. And to the other side for a breath. Let's bring it back to the center just to even it out. With your next inhale, we're going to come up and we're just going to stretch it out with a lunge, bringing the knees back underneath the hips. And let's send one foot forward, knee on top of ankle. I just plug the fingertips down and I'm going to try to lift the chest up. And we're going to try to not keep the hips back, but move the hips forward so we can really feel that stretch in the hip flexor. Let's lift the collarbone up. Let's bring the hands just to the top of the leg, very gently, not putting a whole lot of your body weight into that leg. And then we're just gonna interlace the hands, keep your index finger reaching forward, and let's lift up, look up, breathe in, and slow and controlled, bring it back down. And slowly coming out of that lunge, we'll take the other leg forward. Big step forward. Try not to keep the hips back on top of the back knee. Try to move the hips forward. We're gonna align knee on top of ankle. And plugging fingertips down, we're gonna lift the collarbone up and take a breath here. Now let's draw in those abs to bring us up a little bit higher and take a breath here. I try to do a lunge every day to keep the chiropractor away, so they say. Interlacing hands, and let's reach up, and if you have some good balance here, you can even look up to the sky. Keeping that breath flowing, and with some control, bringing it back down again. Slowly coming out of that lunge and sitting back into the heels. And I hope that you've enjoyed that quadruped routine, working our hips and our core and our glutes, and what else could you ask for? Enjoy!